Hey, and welcome to another episode of Author Talks by Frightreads. I don't know, my eyes just played tricks on me. I thought this said Reids, and I was like, did I? No, it's been A. So anyway, it's been one of those Wednesdays. So if you're following the social media, Instagram, Facebook, and that's really it, um, you saw a bunch of cool things. Tons of new authors or returning authors, new authors, whatever. New for this year. Um, Tons of awesome vendors. We have what's pretty exciting to me is Wild Bill's root beer. Oh my God, the root beer, the cherry sodas. Oh my God, everything. I'm gonna get diabetes by 12:01. The event opens at 12, and I'm gonna have diabetes by 12:01, October 24th. Um, I'm looking forward to that. Um, we have Cynthia Mannion from the first Toxic Avenger. Um, Super awesome to have her. I love having people that are in awesome horror movies, be it Toxic Avenger, Nightmare on Elm Street, what have you, that are also authors. It's kind of like, checking two boxes. So got a lot of cool people, a lot of awesome stuff. Not only that, but it's the 15th. Um, we got less than a month until halfway to Halloween at Marley Station Mall on May 9th. So yeah, we have the Scream Bullies from the bathroom. I'm looking forward to having the two of them. We're going to talk about Nancy's boyfriend's bubble butt, and all of that other stuff, all the insults and great quips and one-liners that Nancy and Lenora both threw out there. Um, I want to be I want a seat at their panel because I want to know if that was ad-libbed. Any of that stuff, was it scripted, or were they just coming up with just mean things to say and seeing what took? So you can find all of that out May 9th. So that's going to be pretty awesome. We got tons of stuff. Oh my God, there's so much going on. Um, there's a music video that's debuting at halfway to Halloween. Super excited about that. One of our long-term vendors, who's been pretty much at every event that we've had, I think aside from the first year, um, reached out and said, "I got a music video I would love to debut." And I said, "Boom, let's do it." And you get the music video as well as some Q&A. You get to talk to some of the production crew, maybe some of the musicians and what have you. Try to get a little insight on what's going on. I'm super excited for that. I love being able to integrate not only books, but we have art, and then we have people that craft and make little things like jewelry and whatnot. Then we have music, so we're like kind of a multifaceted multimedia festival, and it's really cool that that's kind of bleeding into halfway to Halloween, which has been almost primarily books and a little bit of film. So to be able to add in music to that event as well in some way, shape, or form, even if it's just for 3.5 minutes worth of song, what are you going to do? But it's going to be super awesome. I'm really excited for it. There's just so much going on. So we got Wild Bills, we got Cynthia, tons of authors, tons of artists, tons of more vendors. And I'm still not done. There's still so many more people, and there's a couple of names that are being sat on right now that are going to be trickling out in the next month or two. So don't hesitate. There's going to be VIP tickets. Those go quick. Uh, they include a swag bag, a T-shirt, keychain stickers, little stuff like that. And then whatever our vendors choose to contribute, if they want to throw something into the hat, whether it's free stickers or a coupon or just business cards, what have you. So it'll be full of a couple of things. Plus, they hold a good chunk of books, unless maybe you buy multiples of our featured author that we're talking to tonight, because Tenebris is a pretty hefty book and well worth the read. So you might be able to get this pair in there and maybe some basement horror, but you might be pushing it on the capacity of that bag. So tonight we have somebody that I've talked to in the past. You've probably seen him alongside of me at Awesome Con and a few other events. Um, Super awesome world building extraordinaire. Please welcome tonight. We have author J.A. Barrios. If it flips in here, there we go. Hey,
Hey, what's going on?
there he is. Yeah, how about that? You know, the world builder extraordinaire. Set that bar high.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you've done awesome con. I think just about every time I had the extra space, I said, get in here and mooch. Get people to
it's been
know
like
about
what,
your
4 years now.
You've come out with 4 books. Well, 2 books, 3 books, and 2 anthologies. In that span of time, because when you set up next to me, I think all you had was Tenebris, and you had just a few copies of it, and you set it on the table, and you said, I hope this sells, I hope people are interested, and you keep coming back with even more books every year, and that's just awesome.
Oh yeah, even this last time I had someone coming looking for my new book when I wasn't even there.
Yeah, I mean, that's I jokingly say, I was like, you should have just stayed and just nodded to everybody and just, held up a sign. We could have got you like a notepad that said thank you, anything. Hold up a sign that says the price. You could have, you had a sale when you weren't even there. Jager was packing up your stuff, and in the middle of that, everything was in a box. It was done. You were packed. you were for all intents and purposes out the door, short of a bathroom break. I think that the pre-drive pee. You were done. You were out. And somebody came over and was just like, I'd like that book, please. And I was like, where are you leaving? You're making a sale? I didn't even make a sale that day, and I was there the whole day.
Well, shout out to Lisa. Thank you so much for your support.
Ryan says hello. He waved.
Oh, hey. Also, by the way, Harry, I don't see you on my end. I don't know if that's just like a me thing.
That could be a me thing. Let's
see.
Because
it's just like the background next to my my little.
It's unfortunate for you. Let's see. Before we go too deep, and I can turn it off. I'm looking at the live. There you go. There you go. Look at that Inception over there. So yeah, it looks like it's okay. Yeah, okay. I'm in there. So yeah, we're good. I'm looking at
right.
the live side by side. So you're gonna see me hold up my phone a bunch of times to myself, and we're gonna see Phoneception.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see you at all. It's
weird.
But
well, let's see.
I wonder if I can put the live thing on my phone.
I don't know.
And have that.
But you can hear me. But everybody else can see us. And honestly, that's really all that matters.
I might know pop what you in. Look like,
I might pop in. Who knows? So you just got what do you got? An empty box on my side, or just floating? I don't know.
No, it's the background, like that blood, or I guess blood covered wall, but red.
Very red wall there. I think it's a you problem because your internet's a little spotty. You're popping in and out.
I don't know. I had clicked on like the back of my screen, but like clicking exited doesn't like I can't even click.
Well, I think it might be an internet thing for your end, because all is well on my end.
Like the maximize. It's right.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, I think it's your internet because your internet poop.
I can.
Yeah, I can still hear you. You're coming in and out. Whatever you touch, don't touch that anymore. Now you've done it. Now you've gone and broke it. So anyway, yeah, I need one of those cut to scenes where it's like that Please Stand By with the Simpsons where the guy's like drinking and has the camera. There you go.
Okay.
Your internet's been coming in and out. So I was jokingly going to try to find the image of the Simpsons technical difficulties where the guy's drinking, holding the news channel.
Oh yeah. Like the Treehouse of Horror episodes or something, I think, or is that just like
literally just a thing that they do all the time? That's
okay,
a recurring gag.
right.
Love me some Simpsons. Anytime I can reference The Simpsons.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we had so it's fun because you came in with Tenebris, which is that's your magnum opus that took you half a lifetime to complete.
Yeah.
Just trying to get the story and the people and the people quote the
Yeah.
people and places and the world right. And then once you laid that foundation, book 2 took you 30 seconds, figuratively.
Yeah, comparatively, yeah. And
Yeah, yeah.
it's funny.
Was
I
it just
feel,
easier because it was already like you established everybody? You didn't have to, you
yeah,
weren't winging it and trying to make up like who everybody was.
yeah. That's the thing. Like, I spent so long setting up the world, setting up like the rules, and and everything, and with Unholy Quests, yeah, it's just kind of like, all right, the stage is set. I can literally just drop in and see what's going on, because I guess by then too, the characters have quote unquote become alive. So I feel like I did very little work, but and
Yeah,
just kind of watch them in my like little Sims throne as they do what they're doing. And it's funny too. I spent so long on the first one, and I still feel like I could have taken more time with that and made it more like well crafted. But those thoughts to the side, I don't feel that way at all with Unholy Quest, and I feel like it's perfect how it is, and that just makes me really happy. And I'm kind of trying to see what people would think about just jumping straight into the second book, skipping the first one, wondering like how well I wrote it, where you don't necessarily need to read the first one or not, or maybe I
I
just feel
think
that
you
way because
do.
I know the story.
I think you do because what book 1 offers you, that would be like us all of a sudden engaged in like the Frodo and Samwise on their way up to the mountain to throw the ring into the fire. You need to know that you need to have understood all of the struggles and the loss and
Actually, yeah, that's true. You know what? You're right. That's
yeah,
true.
like you can. I mean, you can start off with Return of the King,
Mhm.
and be even movie wise, you can throw on Return of the King and be just fine. You'll figure it out. But you don't know the amount of loss that I mean that first scene in Lord of the Rings where Boromir gets completely just aerated by arrows
Yeah.
to protect Frodo and crew. You don't get that, you lose out on that. So you have your own Boromir sacrifice esque scenes, things that you need to know why are we fighting so hard
Mhm.
for where we are by book 2. Like you kind of lose some of the passion behind the intensity. You might even read it and go, that's a little extreme. I mean,
Mhm.
you lose out on let's just say bloodshed and needless slaughter
Yeah.
and just absolute just a genocidal situation.
Yeah,
Uh,
because even like
yeah.
the Sectorus, one of the main characters, kind of does like a huge 180 between I guess really within Unholy Darkness, from the beginning to the end, he his character kind of flips completely. But between the two books, especially, it's just like night and day.
Yeah.
Uh,
And you don't get that jumping into book 2. You already get his turnaround new mentality. So
yeah.
yeah, don't tell people they can only read book 2. You gotta,
Well, well, if it's worth anything, I don't think anyone I've told that to while trying to sell books has only gotten the second one. If anything, it's like encourage them to get both books. Um,
yeah, but I think I haven't read 2 yet. It's on my
mm,
list of a million and one things to do.
all right, don't worry.
But I got through number 1, and knowing a lot of the plot points and the beats that are hit, you set up like you can figure out the other species and races and groups, but it's so much easier when they were just dripped in. You're not jumping into a world where everything is already introduced and
Yeah.
now all you have is whatever new chapter is unfolding.
Mhm.
It's so much easier to get that slow drip. And yeah, I mean that works for. I mean, geez, you can't even jump into like Fubar 2. You can, but I feel like you're missing a lot of the emotional loss and the absolute just shenanigans and chaos that book one would have been for me.
And,
So yeah,
even just with the I don't know, just the ending of book one to jump into Fubar two, yeah, it is definitely very like we'll just kind of like sideswipe you or whatever. Because
yeah,
yeah,
especially when even if you read book one and you jump into Fubar two,
yeah,
um, it's still jarring because you're like, whoa, 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 did I miss something? Where's
yeah,
book one? I need to find book one real quick. I must have missed a chapter. And I like to do that because I don't like reading series books, like not books that are inter-universe, like Brian Paoni and a couple other authors do like the Nancy Drew series, Hardy Boys, things like that. You can read Hardy Boys number 19 or Hardy Boys number 3, and it's not going to make a bit of difference. The
mhm,
Hardy Boys are the Hardy Boys, whether it's on book 1 or book 100. But when it's something that's, I already mentioned Lord of the Rings, but like something like a Harry Potter or even Percy Jackson, some of these long epics, you can't just jump. I don't want to say you can't, because you can read book 6 and be just fine
yeah,
and figure it out. But I think you just need, as a reader, to be able to go along with that journey and go along with that growth of the character, because that's why I reference Harry Potter because a lot of people do cling on to that from their childhood and their youth,
mhm.
and that's a book that people heavily identified with.
Oh
You
yeah,
can't just grow with these characters by jumping into Deathly Hollows, I think is the last one. I'm winging it. I know enough to get by, but I was like, you can't just jump into Deathly Hollows and understand what Harry Potter and his ragtag bunch of misfits has been into.
yeah,
Um,
that's
you
true.
have to see this, like, I mean, blatant child abuse, dudes living under the stairs.
Yeah,
That's, you're coming from all of this. So you miss that by the time you get into book 5 and 6. That's behind him. That's well into the past. So with that, or Lord of the Rings, or any Percy Jackson, any of these like giant epic story arcs that, in some cases, some of them are still ongoing.
mhm.
You have to start with book one, and maybe you're playing catch up. You can't jump into One Piece episode 985 and know what's happening. You got to get into all the you got to get episode 1 to 994 to see what's going on.
That's a lot of catching up though.
What Dude, I went deep into the paint with it, and I think I made it to like episode. I think I made it. Um, I no, we hadn't even made it to the. Geez, I don't even remember what the hell the place was called. The center line or whatever. I don't know, wherever they were looking for the treasure. We didn't make it there. I made it quite literally about as far as the live action went, and I was like, I just watched 6 years of an anime that was summed up in 10 episodes, maybe 8, I don't remember. Um, man, what an abridged version. And but you got to go on that adventure to appreciate everybody and everything. I mean, is there a book or a series that, not your own or mine,
Mhm.
but is there something out there that you feel like you just have to start with one, dig your heels in, and get through all of them?
Well, yeah, I definitely have to shout out John Dar's series, Jonah Blackstone. I guess
Hmm.
we were just talking about Harry Potter for a little bit, and there's some kind of like elements in there with the Jonah Blackstone series as well. Young boy, young boy becomes orphan, discovers that he's part, some type of fae or whatever. In this case,
Sure.
he's part Reaper, which is kind of cooler than wizards. But
Yeah.
yeah, let's see. John's at well, I guess officially book 4 now. There
Yeah.
is a fifth book, which is kind of in limbo, and I read it maybe 2 years ago now.
No
But yeah,
doubt.
that's one where when when book 4 was coming out, it had been several years in between 3 and 4. So I just like, you know what, I gotta reread this whole series from the beginning. Get to see Jonah, growing, making the making the friends that he's making the enemies that he's making.
Sure.
And it definitely really raises the stakes.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get the full gravitas if you don't, start day one with the characters. I mean, it just has a different impact. Like, losing a character, let's say book 5 just kills a character off in the first couple of pages. If you just started with that book, you're like, man, that sucks. All right, moving on. But it turns out that was like the secondary character for the first 4 books, and that was this character's Ron Weasley. That was this character's Ted to his Bill. This is like the ride or die, and we just lost an impactful character, and all you can react with is, man, that sucks.
Yeah.
You don't get that, like, close the book and go stare out the window and think about if you want to finish the book or not. Because I know I had moments like that in Fubar, where I had some people just like, man, I thought that guy was going the distance. So, and that's book 1. But then when you're bumping people off by book 3, if you started in 3, does somebody that has been on that journey since the beginning, it doesn't have the same gravitas. But yeah, John Dar's book is definitely a world building adventure, kind of in that same vein where it's just this epic story to follow. And shout out to John for his books.
Yeah, and you were mentioning like Fubar 3. That book's really heavy. And just jumping right into 3 is just kind of like, okay, like, all right, I guess this happened with this person and that person, but
the most that you can do is just go, man, that sucks. Maybe you can relate to the scenario that I unfolded, but to suck the wind out of you by taking a favorite character, I don't care. That's not a spoiler. I don't know who your favorite characters are. Maybe you like the groundskeeper. I don't know.
My favorite characters, the Skitter Critters. No.
But to like take one, like a beloved character, and I blame my audiobook narrator, Mike Panade, for this character's demise. Don't ever tell an author, yeah, so my favorite character is Bob Smith. It's like, well, Bob's dead. That's a shame. Now I got to find a way to kill Bob. And Bob will be dead by the next chapter. That's kind of how it happened. And I was like, yeah, you're connecting with this guy. He's got to go, man. That's a shame. But yeah, to launch the book in such a manner that I think book 1 starts in a sarcastic kind of manner.
Mm.
And kind of just like, oh man, I hate this place. I got sand in places. I'll never get it out. And just kind of sarcastic and just kind of just pessimistic. And then 2 just kind of starts from a point of confusion. And then 3, I'm just like, hey, you know what? You ever been punched in the gut? Anyway, over and over and over and over again. Yeah, but I do agree that a book series will lose its impact if you just start in the middle somewhere. And it's I think the worst feeling in the world is picking up a book at the store and you're reading it and you're, like I said, you can figure out, you can context clues, you can piece together.
Mm-hmm.
But then the second that you realize, oh my God, this was book 4. Now you're invested. Now you have to go back and see what they did. But there's nothing like that feeling where your heart just kind of sinks and you're like, oh crap, I read this out of order.
I'm trying to think if I've done that accidentally with like a book, with like a book, because like comics, you like jump in the middle of the story all the time.
Yeah. Comics are different because how many times have they told the story of the X-Men and Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Like the movies, like how many times can I watch Uncle Ben die? Honestly. Oh, yeah. I think comics get a free pass. Comics are something that, and I think it's just widely accepted. You can just pick up whatever Spider-Man 800 or whatever is coming out right now and pick it up and go for it. Or you start the new arc that, artist X and writer Y have created, and you just That's not my Spider-Man. That's not the
Yeah.
Spider-Man I've been reading, but it's going to be your Spider-Man. And that'll open up the floodgates to go back and read, the Ditka and Romito era, and getting into like I think the 80s, other than the original conception, the
Mhm.
80s and early 90s was probably when comics were just fire. And
Oh
that's
yeah.
the hill I'll die on comment section. I think that's when comics were absolutely fire because um, this was before I think Marvel and DC hit their like slump
Mhm.
in the early 2000s. Like they hit that like just that dip, and comics were the big thing. Like that was what was cool. Fox was airing X-Men, Spider-Man. I think they had an Avengers or something, like a Captain America and the
Yeah,
Avengers.
there's definitely something like that. Because I remember there was also like an Incredible Hulk show and an Iron Man,
Yeah,
but those weren't
yeah.
as like popular.
But either way, I mean, you got
Mhm.
all of those
Yeah, they're all
guys,
over the
and then
place.
then the other side of the house, you had Warner Brothers was cranking out the quite possibly, again, Hill I'll die on the animated Batman series
Oh
with
yeah.
Kevin Conroy's Batman, the probably the textbook, the blueprint for all things that should be Batman.
Oh
This
yeah,
is
it's the best.
this is the straight off the pages Batman. So we had that, and then you had the Adventures of Superman, which was just as good, but for Superman. Even though I don't vibe with
Mhm.
Superman as much, I watched that. And then you had, the Justice League cartoons where they paired everybody up.
Yeah.
That was probably a peak time. And then we tried to create Blade,
Mhm.
which Blade was basically just a vampire movie, even if you didn't know he was a superhero.
Yeah.
Um, that had nothing to do with anything. That also came at a time when The Matrix and I think Underworld and
Yeah.
all of these movies
The
were
Crow.
popping, and Blade was just leather bound and one liner filled, ready to go. So it was a good time. So yeah, I think that was the peak era, and what a tangent to get on. Like, yeah, you could just pick up a Spider-Man comic whenever. Let me tell you, 1992 issue, like full comic book nerds.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
especially because there's so many people that are very decisive about the like the Clone Saga or whatever in Spider-Man.
hmm. I mean, you got that stuff. You also got all the experimental. I think that was the 80s and 90s was the experimental Spider-Man phase.
Oh yeah.
What if Spider-Man turned into a spider?
What
Um,
if he was made of spiders?
what if he was made of spiders? It's just nothing but spiders underneath the costume.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, like I realistically, like that's almost the route that they went. But some of it was just let's try something weird, and I think that's when we got the What If comics also from
Oh, yeah.
Marvel. I think that's when they kind of spurned out like, what if Hulk killed Wolverine? And you're
Yeah.
like, but Wolverine can't die. And then Marvel's just like, yeah, 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 but what if?
Yeah.
And then you're like, no, 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 he can't die. And they're like, but what if? And you're like, yeah, what if?
Yeah, what if he like tore Wolverine's head off and threw it like on the top of a mountain or something?
Right?
Which
And
I think
like,
is how that happens, but
he just tore that man into like nothing but just like adamantium, just sparks. Um, that was such a brilliantly brutal comic, and I wish that the actual cartoon that the adaptation that they did a few
oh
years
yeah.
ago would have been a fraction of the brutality because
Yeah.
the stuff you can do in comics just can't be done in cartoon. They try, and I'm like, you guys really try. You were there, you had the makings.
Yeah, it's good for what it is, but it's not as
Yeah,
good
yeah.
as like
Oh,
the
I did not watch it.
yeah.
Plus, it had Deadpool in it, who I don't think was in that comic because
Yeah, yeah, that's
he
true.
wasn't born yet. He wasn't born until like 92 or 93 or something. Um, when he came out. Around the same time, surprisingly, as Harley Quinn
Mhm.
from the comes back full circle every time. Comes back the Batman the animated series.
Yeah. And then they
Um,
like up the ante with Batman Beyond, which I think is also like original to the show first before he was in the comics, right?
I
Um,
Batman Beyond was a pivot from the animated Batman cartoon.
yeah.
and everything from there was an original piece, or probably like a prototype idea that was kicked around, something that they didn't quite know how to use. But then
Mhm.
when Batman Beyond comes out, they know exactly what to do with, what do we do with a Joker like villain? But then we
Yeah.
also have the Joker. What do we do with, everybody kind of resembled Batman's old foes, just updated with tech. And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
100% what
My
Batman
favorite
Beyond was.
my
My
favorite
man had
episode.
jetpack feet.
No, sorry. But yeah, my
No, you're
favorite
good.
episode of Batman Beyond, because I think about it a lot, is uh like Terry is like in some kind of like sport. I forget what the sport's called or whatever, but looks like some kind of like scoop ball thing. And then one of the other,
Oh,
yeah, well, one of the other like team members is like jacked up on on
Mountain
like
Dew.
venom or whatever, and like
As
the
you do.
like the toxin that that Bane is on or whatever. And I just thought it was like really cool because obviously they assume Bane is behind it, and then when they go and track him down, he's just like a feeble old man that's like being kept alive by having like venom pumped into his blood constantly. And it's just like,
Yeah.
oh, I actually really like this concept of taking a character like that and seeing what he'd be like, 30 plus years in the future.
Well, then you go even deeper into that. Um, Bane's body was feeding off of this venom for the last 30 plus years,
Yeah.
however long he's been trying to break the bat. Um, his body formed a dependency. So I love that ending where it's
Mm.
the thing that he used to make himself big and powerful is now the very thing that's keeping that thread of life attached.
Yeah.
Ooh, deep meanings. Uh, deep meanings in kids' cartoons. Please
Yeah,
watch
it's
them.
great.
Yeah, and I mean they did that with a lot of comic book cartoons.
Mhm.
There were storylines like, I mean, X X-Men 97, the reboot. They went real hard into it, because I
Oh,
know that their target audience is us.
yeah, yeah,
They knew
yeah,
damn well who they were gearing this towards, and they were like, we can push the envelope just a bit, but still make it for the kids. But we're going to go up just a couple of notches, ramp up the loss and ramp up some of the intensity.
Mhm.
But the classics though, they did not play around. And then you got the movies. Oh my god, the movies, they didn't the cartoon movies.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Cartoon
like
movies are great.
the animated movies where it was like Batman, Superman War, and Justice League War, all that stuff that they had. Um, the one that I think is insane is the and it's in the comics too, but Injustice. Just
Okay.
like that level of, you know, bat spoiler, I mean, the game came out like 15 plus years ago, and the comics have been out even longer. Um, and the cartoon has been out for like 10 plus years, so you had your chance. um Batman never kills the Joker, and that's supposed to be like his moral compass. If I kill one of my villains, that makes me just as bad as them, blah 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 blah
Mhm.
blah. The Joker gets caught and released, as is tradition, and he literally takes like a gun and shoots Lois Lane,
Mhm.
and she's done, she's a wrap. And Superman is just like, bro, if you would have just killed him. And Batman's like, I don't kill. And he's like, well, I do. Guess what? And he flies down to the Joker, snaps his neck, and just that's it. Joker's ragdolled. He's over. And it's just like, yeah, I mean, that's really all it would have taken. You would have saved countless lives. How many people wouldn't have been poisoned by the Joker if you'd have just done that from the jump? And I get, that, any comic book nerd would be like, but you're missing the point of what Batman's trying to teach you. No, 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 no.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
get
you're,
that
you're
point.
missing the
But
point that Bruce Wayne's
but
a
also,
billionaire and he like gets money from the incarcerations that
ah,
happen, that's why,
well, that's the deep, deep one. But surface level, it's supposed to say, you're supposed to choose the moral high ground, and that's what Batman's doing, is letting Joker live where Joker couldn't care if he lives or dies because he's so chaotic. But
Yeah.
also on the same flip side, Batman doesn't care if he lives or dies because he's on the opposite side of the spectrum, equally as chaotic.
Yeah.
Why else would you jump down and fight random dudes at like 3 a.m. wearing hockey pads?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I mean, they're both insane.
they're both insane, but on different sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
But to see Superman just jump down and just whack, that's it. And dude's done. That's it. And you're just like, oh, oh, oh man. And then that's also, they kind of touched on that, I think, with the newer Superman, not the newest, but the last iteration with Henry Cavill.
Oh, like in the live action movies. Yeah.
Yeah, when he twisted Zod's neck, but Zod's in the middle of zapping everybody with lasers.
Yeah.
And his head just goes and just starts like just tearing up Metropolis. And I was looking at it going, that was some poor planning. You should have like covered his eyes or what. I don't know. I don't know how Superman powers work, but you should probably have covered his eyes or something. Put some sunglasses on him like Cyclops.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that was the moment that broke Superman in there. But they didn't get into it as much in that movie as what the plot line of Injustice was. And then it's just Superman just going, you know what? I've had it with all these villains. They have to go. And I love that mentality. And that's almost reverse The Boys.
Yeah.
I've had it with these heroes. They have to go. That kind of idea. But they've been doing it longer than The Boys even considered doing it. There's so much good storytelling, and wow, what a tangent to go on from. You can just start a comic book from the middle.
Yeah, that's what happens when bring up some cool topics like that.
It just takes comic books, and like nerds will just derail immediately. Like, well, in 147, Batman actually said. We don't. I'm not that nerdy, but like I'm just fascinated by some of the arcs that. I mean, the Killing Joke. Oh, that one's rough. The Joker. This is where you're like, where is the Injustice Superman to handle business? I'm going to need him handled, but not quickly either. I want this to linger. I need like 5 issues of this arc of just beating the hell out of the Joker for 5 comics. But yeah, just stuff like that. But changing topics, back to our books and back to Frightreads. I don't have anybody from DC. I do have Ed Hunt who does really gory, murdery horror comics. So you definitely
Evil is a weapon.
Huh?
Evil is a weapon.
Yeah.
Which I think issue 4 is still up on Kickstarter right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say it should be out. He said allegedly, hopeful, wishful thinking, 5 will be out by Frightreads proper in the fall.
Oh, okay, nice.
So we'll have 4 and 5 out. Hopeful. So what a fun comic. And we go back to comics. My God, we can't.
It all comes back to comics.
It all comes back to comics. So anytime I have somebody on that happened to be in a silly little book that I put together, Nightmares Unbound, I always like to talk about that and their portrayal and what is it like to live and die. I just assume everybody dies. That's what I tell everybody. Like, I kill everyone. What is it like to live and die in a literary form where it's basically you? Because I know I approached you with it and I said, I'd like to put you in this book. And I don't think I had as big of a part planned for you. I think the blueprint was me and Brian just kicking ass and taking names, which wasn't my plan. But like, it was supposed to be like the 2 of us and everybody else just kind of mentioned or just in the entourage to some degree. But as the story was coming out, you took kind of the secondary character spot. And I thought that was kind of fun, just because our tables happened to be near each other or whatever the scenario was. I think we were across from each other's what it was. Yeah. And the boogaloo goes down and the 2 of us kind of pair up to try to link up with everybody else that we know that's several aisles away, which on a good day, trying to navigate AwesomeCon on foot takes like 3 days just to get a few miles over.
And that's what the lights on.
Yeah, and imagine it when it's all chaotic and just murdery. So, I mean, that was obviously the visuals I had was awesome con. I was like,
Oh yeah.
the gravitas of the building and everything. But what were your thoughts on your portrayal?
Yeah, no, I thought it was a lot of fun. Definitely really cool to see. Myself, like, well, a version of myself or whatever in a thing. In like a form of media or whatever, and it's me with my name, so it's not just like oh, this person is loosely based on someone else or whatever, but it's like it's me. That's like a lot of cool, and I
Yeah,
especially just seeing where my character goes. Not trying to make spoilers, I guess, or whatever, but yeah, I like it. I think I did really well. I feel like I don't know. In real life, I like to try to, blend in or whatever, and try not to stand out as much is at least what I think I like to do. But then I always end up like, oh, I'm gonna get like engaged and like help with this thing and stuff. And next thing I know, I'm like a part of something.
yeah. So I thought it was fun too because this isn't spoilery. This is, I mean, everybody has to defend themselves in this book.
That's true. John
Um,
John dies at the end.
yeah. It's not spoilery. I mean, an entire like murderous cult shows up and tries
Yeah.
to kill all of us. It definitely comes down to a me or you situation. And I'm going home every time in that case.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts when I threw in you as the first? I call it the good guy kill.
No.
From Team Hero.
Yeah.
Um, what did you think about you being the one to do it? Not me, because I mean,
Oh, yeah.
wouldn't be my first rodeo, but
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, as the first person is, I don't know, it's interesting. It definitely like has like some more weight in there, but like at the end of the day, if my life's threatened, I'm gonna try to survive by any means necessary, and
yeah,
I don't follow any kind of like outdated morals that are encased in a book or whatever. So I'm gonna kill someone who's in my way. So
yeah. It's like I said, my mentality, and I thought it was kind of fun to play with the idea because I'd gone to war and back and all of that good stuff.
yeah,
And the mentality out there was it's going to be me or you, and I'm going home every time. I'm walking home, and that was kind of the mentality that I had. But I think it came down to just in over my head, and you came in clutch, and you were just like do what I got to do. I'm not going to be okay after, but push came to shove, and you started shoving and pushing, and
so to speak.
yeah, and we had so many like the cast of characters, just all these people that you see all around Frightreads. Like you could see Kalen over there at Red Tail Studios, Brian Paoni down the hall, and Dan Jones with his creature books, and Dan the Monster Man as he is in the book.
Yeah.
All of these people are real. That's my favorite part. Is like you can read the book and go, oh, as you're at the event and see names.
It's so fun because I'm a huge View Askew, like Kevin Smith fan, and like he loosely based like his characters on like him and his friends or whatever,
Mhm.
but then Nightmares Unbound I guess is a little bit more like what's it called? This Is the End. Was that the Seth Rogen movie?
It's more like this is the like honestly, I think that was so in the format of the book, every start of the chapter or section, I give you a quote from a movie I absolutely adore,
Mm.
but the quote kind of also meshed with the vibe of the book. This is the end was actually going to be quoted.
Oh,
Um,
okay, nice.
and I had a bunch of different ones that I was going to put in there. Um, but I actually just rewatched that movie a couple of weeks ago.
Nice.
Still holds up. It's horrible and I love it. What a great movie. But it's the story of a bunch of Hollywood elites, quote, if you want to consider like Seth Rogen and all those guys, the Hollywood elites. They're so full of themselves that they're the only ones left, more or less, after the rapture. and
Mhm.
everybody gets taken away, and they're left to deal with like the minions of hell coming to take over. And it's just absolutely hilarious because it's them, but over exaggerated versions of like Michael Sarah and all these different characters. And that was sort of what I was trying to shoot for,
Mhm.
but in a less exaggerated sense. Like none of us are over, we're not caricatures. This
Yeah.
is what would I do? Probably this. I'd like to think I would do this. That's kind of how it was handled. What would I do?
Oh yeah,
Um,
which speaking of, the best part is when I told you was like, you should have me spit on that guy because I'm gonna I'm
yes.
gonna spit on someone I don't like. So
Yeah. And
as you
uh
put it
and
in there.
and and that was such a good suggestion because like getting into that, it was just like I think originally your character kicks the boot, like bitch, something like that. Like, yeah, that'll teach you. And you were like, okay, but I would spit on him. And I instantly, like, my brain went right to Awesome Con from two Awesome Cons ago, when you literally almost got ran over by somebody's luxury car, their BMW, Mercedes, whatever. um and she almost ran a red light, almost hit you. The car is like touching your kneecaps basically, and you like pounded on her hood and you were like, watch where you're going, bitch. Right onto the windshield. And I was just like, wow. And then that whole scene clicked in my brain, and I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Speeding on like the Jag-offs, driving the nice cars is my specialty.
yeah, yeah. And I thought of that scene immediately in real life, and I went, yeah, no, you'd spit on this guy, absolutely, 100%. You would spit on his corpse and just be like, puh, you know, next time fight better. Um,
Yeah, like there's the movie called "I Spit on Your Grave," and I read the
yeah,
title and I was like, "Bet I can live by those words."
yeah. That's your motto. That's your way of life.
Yeah.
Your mantra in life. I spit on your grave. Yeah, but it was a lot of fun, and I love stuff that's very meta in that sense, and I think that's why I love This Is the End, because it's absolutely textbook, exactly what I love to watch, is people that play themselves but also not themselves.
Mhm.
Anytime that there are fourth wall breaks, tasteful ones. I don't want like really super cheeseball dumb ones, get annoying after a while. But have you ever seen The Dead Don't Die?
Oh yes.
That
Yeah.
right there it's not for everybody. It is a dry movie. You have to be ready to watch a comedy movie that's not funny. I don't know how best to describe it, but it's a
Yeah, I mean it
comedy
is
movie
super
that's not
dry.
funny. They're not setting up ha ha jokes, but if you're paying attention, these are the funniest jokes you've ever heard, because there's just so much subtlety. And I love one of the scenes. Bill Murray just keeps going, "This does not end well for us." And he goes, "You keep saying that.
Oh,
Well," and he's like, "How do you know?" He's like, "It just doesn't end well for us." No, no, for sure, we're gonna get saved. We don't get saved. This doesn't end well. No. And he's like, "How do you even know?" And he's like, "Well, I read the script."
it's in the script.
And then he goes, "How did you get the script?" And he's like, "Because I'm Bill fucking Murray."
Yeah, no, I
And
love
I'm
that.
like, "You're not even your character anymore. You just broke the barrier and said, because I'm Bill Murray, and that's why I got the script."
Yeah, I love
And
that.
like,
And
I think he even says like, "I played Kylo Ren." Like they break that moment, and actually like this is now real life actors sitting in a police car having a debate about themselves, not their characters. And then there's a moment when Adam Driver's character drives up in his electric car, and it sounds like a pod racer.
oh yeah.
It's little things like that. There's a Sith keychain on his key ring for his car. It's little stuff like that, and I love when things do that. When they can, I think the music, the theme song, "The Dead Don't Die" is playing, and they reference like, this song's really catchy.
Yeah,
What is it?
that's
And he
like my
goes,
favorite part at the
"It
beginning.
should be. It's the theme song." Oh, and then they turn it up, and then we go back to the opening credits. and it's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, because like we're like just hearing it like in the opening, and then like they play it on the radio while they're driving.
Yeah.
It's like we never heard this before.
Oh, it's the theme
Like,
song.
yeah.
It's like, oh, it's like, wow, this is really catchy. And he's like, it should be. It's the theme song. Oh, like we don't say the theme song to what, we just go, oh, we're aware that this is the theme song to the movie that
Yeah.
we're in. I love that. And when I was on with Chris O'Brockie a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about atrocious horror movies. I love talking atrocious horror movies with people.
Oh, yeah.
I brought up Lamageddon, which
Oh,
is
okay, nice.
absolute dumpster fire of a film that you have to watch. So Lamageddon, it's low budget would be an insult to low budgets. This movie had one stock video of a llama that they would just manipulate with red eyes occasionally. They did their best. And my favorite thing is when you know that this isn't going to go your way, embrace how bad it is and make it good by being as bad as possible.
Yeah.
One of the characters has a costume change every time the camera cuts away from him. He's in a new shirt. Like he's just like, we got to get out of here, guys. We're all going to die here. And then it'll pan over to the girl. But he was wearing like a Mario Brothers. Like I'd hit that with the Mario box. And then it pans back to him and he's got a Batman shirt on. And you're like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like I noticed it after a while and I was like, God, they'd have zero continuity here. And then I realized that it's every time they cut away from the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like this guy brought a suitcase full of shirts to wear.
That would have been a lot of fun to film.
And that right there added a million points to the movie, because I was like, this movie's atrocious, but you just have to appreciate the level of dedication that this guy had to the constant wardrobe change. Anytime that they cut the camera, turned it to face somebody else, he's over there flipping a shirt off and throwing a new one on. At least I like to think that's what was going on.
Just putting them right on top of each other, you know.
That would have been even better. But the other one that does it very well is Velocipaster.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, what are we doing here? We need to log off now. You need to go watch a movie. One of my favorite scenes is it's his tragic backstory. I think it was the day that he became a pastor. He got his priesthood or whatever. He was very proud, and his parents are waving because they're so proud. And the story is his parents died in a tragic car accident, a car explosion. They literally just have an explosion sound and put like a filler graphic that says entrance special effects, fire and car explosion here. And that's your special effects. They didn't explode anything, nothing's on fire. And it's so silly and dumb. And the final fight with the Velociraptor suit, that's comical. There's a part when somebody gets beheaded and it's clearly a woman's mannequin head, but it was a guy that they beheaded.
Oh.
And you're just like, that is a woman's mannequin head and a different wig altogether. Like this is stupid. And then there's a great character. He's what was it? It was, I think his name was Jimmy the Fish or something, because he's swimming in bitches. And I'm just like, there's no way this is real. This can't, somebody wrote this. And I'm almost jealous that I don't write that good.
Well, it's something I've always admired in songs, where like songs that have like stuff that's not lyrics, like in David Bowie's Fashion, there's like the beep beep that he does, where it's just like, is that a thing that you write down when you're like orchestrating the lyrics, or is that something you do like just in the moment you're feeling it, and it's like, you know what, I feel like I should say beep beep right here. Let me just do that, and then everyone's like, "Whoa, that's great." I'm always curious about that.
Wrote that down. The one that I want to see the handwritten notes to literally any Korn song.
yeah.
But like, and this is the part when I go, and I just make a bunch of guttural noises. Is it just in parentheses? I
Yeah,
make a bunch of Jonathan
yeah,
Davis
exactly.
noises,
Yeah. Or like Rob
or does
Zombie,
he
like this.
actually write them out?
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Like, does Rob Zombie write "yeah" like in his lyrics, or does he
yeah.
just say it?
Well, he's sitting there and he's like, more human than a human. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. What? Yeah. Like he's like in the studio, like, I just can't come up with the next lyric. I don't know what to do. And then it's like weeks and weeks and weeks go by, and he goes, I got it. Yeah. There was a meme that I saw going around. It was a picture of Rob Zombie, Macho Man, the Kool-Aid Man, and a bunch of other characters all saying yeah. And it's so stupid. It's like everybody going yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have a lot of books you're bringing to the table, not only for Fright Reads in the fall, but you're coming to hang out with us at halfway to Halloween at
Oh
Marley
yeah.
Station Mall, which
Yeah,
is going to
no,
be a lot of fun.
I got the both Tenebrous books, Unholy Darkness, Unholy Quests. I got my collection of short stories and ravings, and I'll have a couple of anthologies with me, like the With Teeth Wolf anthology and
I
the
forgot
Darkness
about With Teeth. I keep saying there's anthologies, but I'm like, there's 3 now. There's 3 that you're.
Yeah, there's 4 actually, because
4.
I'm also in the Books of Horror community anthology 2, volume 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you're in 4. Look at you moving
Yeah, I
up
was
in the
busy
world.
last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, and well, actually, something I'm really excited about. I don't know how well it'll look on the screen, but at these events, I'm not sure about Fright Reads proper, but definitely at halfway to Halloween, I've been doing these like these like deluxe Tenebrous experience packages,
Yeah.
which contain both books 1 and 2. My little comic that's like a teaser of book 1, all the stickers and whatnot, and then we like seal it with like the little wax seal of the Eye of Fandreau on there.
That's awesome.
And specifically, what with these packages, we have the last of the first edition covers for Tenebris the Unholy Darkness. So I think there's only like 5 left. So that makes it kind of fun.
That's fun. Yeah. Yes, that's cool. Yeah, you got a lot of stuff coming out, and potentially another anthology on the horizon.
Yeah, I'm working on my my Fright Reads anthology contribution. I last week I think I submitted 2 stories, which I just today got a rejection for one of them, which is fine because I already assumed that it wasn't like the right fit for it. And then the other one, we'll see. I really had a really good time writing that story, and it's definitely one of my soapbox kind of topics or whatever. So I don't know, it'd be fun to do.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds okay. Let me just do this by question then. So the different genres that are going down. This is what we're contending with for the. I don't know. It's myself and several others going to be reading and approving. So I'm actually not. I'm not going to have the names of who done it.
Yeah.
We're just going to read the story as it is, with only the title and the genre. So that way, if it's like, what's all this outer space crap doing in a horror? It's like, oh, it's a sci-fi. Yeah, okay, that checks. So I can get my brain into what I'm supposed to be experiencing.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of horror, shocker. Dark comedy.
Nice.
I'm excited for that. Supernatural noir.
Supernatural noir. That sounds cool.
Yeah, right. It's got a cool name. We have a dark horror fantasy, like a horror version of a dark fantasy. A supernatural dark fiction, psychological horror, mythological fantasy.
Ooh, I like that.
Right, that's your people right there.
Yeah.
And then mine is kind of just demonic lore, the one that I'm submitting, which will be read by others that aren't me, because I'll be like,
Oh,
story's great, it's in.
yeah.
um,
Neat.
but yeah, the
Demonic lore. That's
yeah,
cool.
mine is going to be called Bakaneko,
Oh,
which
okay.
is Nico Cat, you know, little.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be a play off of a lot of Japanese lore and folklore, and
Oh,
playing with some of the naming conventions and
yeah.
things.
Yeah,
As
that's
well
really
as
cool. I did a
zines.
lot of like demonology studying when I was first starting to write Unholy Darkness. Actually, I guess right before I started writing, because like, oh, I want to learn about all these different things and stuff, and then just realizing that there's not like one like consecutive like lore for this stuff. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make my own thing. So,
Well, I think you doing all the backstories and research
mm.
help you formulate your own version of your world.
Oh yeah,
Because what made all of this good is now pigeonholed and pulled into your world. So you took little bits and pieces and little snippets from everything else
oh yeah,
and use that, because some of your descriptions, some of the people, places, and things, very much has some kind of origin and root to something else. Um, and it shows that you did some research. So it should be fun, and I'm looking forward to what you're submitting. And it's going to be a really good group of writings. I hope everybody enjoys it. Somebody be reading it and be like, these are all garbage.
that's
um
right. You know, there's gonna be those folks who are gonna be like, what was it? You know, shouting like AI just because they didn't like it or whatever. But
yeah.
it's right.
um I
They'll
can
get
tell
crushed
you how
eventually.
mine's so bad I wish an AI wrote it. um Somebody I had somebody ask me if I used AI, and I was like, I mean, if I did, it would show, because all of a sudden everything I write would be coherent.
It would be good, right? No.
It would be coherent and actually have a plot that you can follow.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but that's what we get to look forward to coming up here in October for the anthology. I'm excited. We're gonna have some original art drawn by some of our artist vendors.
Cool.
So we're going to have some of those get submitted in to go kind of interwoven with the stories and obviously the cover. So this is the Frightreads anthology. You want a slice of what it's like to be at this convention? That's going to be this book. This book will take you on that journey and show you several authors. Actually, one of the vendors, who's not even an author, submitted a short story. And I told her, I said you can. I said the perk of being part of this anthology, or any anthology, is that people find you with, I say, better authors.
Mm.
Stephen King might be part of your anthology, maybe,
Yeah.
possibly. And
You never know.
now people are buying it because Stephen King is the top billed name, and now you're in there. You might be story number 19 out of 20, but you're in there. And now
Mm.
you're in a book with Stephen King. And that kind of boosts your numbers a bit as an author. When you don't
Yeah.
have an author background, that kind of is a moot point. But I'm not saying no. Why would I? What's the point of saying no? Let's go for it.
Yeah, no, that's really
Um,
neat. I especially love like with the anthologies, seeing like debut authors or whatever in there. I just think that's super cool.
yeah,
Like
and this could be, if it's a well received short story,
hmm,
if what you do by day is crochet or whatever, and that's what you normally do as a vendor,
yeah,
and you do the short story and people go, oh my god, that was so good. Maybe it convinces you to do a little short story or publish a little novel, novella, something, and have that alongside of your stickers and magnets that you make. um, and now you're an author and you do this. Who knows what'll come of it? So
yeah,
that's why I wasn't saying no to the idea. I'm not saying no to the submission.
yeah.
You're adhering to the guidelines. Were you a vendor at Frightreads at any point in time, and will you be on this year? Then you check the box. So it'll be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. Um, Yeah, but we got so we're gonna have you in there not even a month from now.
Yeah.
We're gonna be hanging out with the girls from Scream. We're gonna be hanging out with Chris O'Brocki. We're hanging out with Michelle Santiago. There's a music video debuting because I know music's your jam.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be
Especially
a lot of fun.
with your little guitar bit from the audiobook.
Yeah.
I know music's your jam. Um, yeah, it's just gonna be an absolute party. I can't wait. So if you
Yeah,
haven't,
right after that weekend, I go on the road for 3 weeks, traveling with Jager. We're gonna like hit up Yellowstone, but along the way, we're trying to connect with a bunch of like bookstores and such, and potentially set up a cross country road trip in the future.
sweet. That's a lot of
Or
fun.
cross
I
country
didn't cross
tour, I
country.
should say. Yeah,
Part country.
yeah, per
Um,
country.
yeah, I didn't cross country. I just flew directly to the Southwest and then flew back.
Yeah.
So I skipped everything in the middle. So I'm sure there's plenty of bookstores I could hit in the middle, but where's the fun in that? Just skip to the end.
Yeah.
Um, it's never about the friends you made along the way. It's the friends you made at the very end.
It's about the
Um,
destination, you know.
it's about the destination. But yeah, so if anybody's looking for your books, they're at barriosbooks.com.
Yeah,
Um,
barstool.com.
they can buy directly from you where you'll scribble in it, draw some doodles, all your fun stuff.
Oh yeah.
Um, or if you do the audio books or the ebooks, they're available just about anywhere you can get those things. Um, I do recommend it's a lengthy listen, but Unholy Darkness is absolutely fantastically narrated.
It's so good. Yeah, I really love how that came out, and I'm glad you liked it too. And
Yeah,
I'm so excited for the second one. They start the production in August for the audiobook for Quest.
sweet.
And I
And that's
can't
when I'll read it.
yeah, I
And
can't
that's
wait.
when I'll read it after that's out. But yeah, that's even on like Spotify. So I mean, you can get it just about anywhere, wherever you have a subscription. Whether it be Audible, um, like
Yeah.
begrudgingly Audible, um, the libraries.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's even on Libby, so yeah, you can get it
Yeah,
for free through the library.
yeah. Support your library. They get like I don't know a penny in the jar or something,
Yeah, yeah,
or
like
maybe a book sticker or something.
I get the same royalties either way,
Yeah,
so if someone can support their local library, that's actually like a bonus for me. So please
yeah.
do
I say
that.
local library and then independent bookstores. So if you
Yeah.
use Libro.fm, you can pick a local neighborhood bookstore. For all intents and purposes, we have at Frightreads at any given time, Park Books, Curmudgeon, Capricos Books. We have a lot of independent bookstores that usually revolve. I usually pick one of their names and then cycle it out here and there. Um, but you have that as an option. Then I guess you can give Jeff Bezos money. Because at the end of the day, you get a paycheck either way. But
Yeah.
for moral reasons, it'd be cooler if you supported your local library. So they can grab your books just about anywhere. You have anything forthcoming aside from the audiobook at some point? Is there anything in the shoots or in the works?
No, I just have miscellaneous short stories and anthologies. I it's been a while since I worked on it, but I was working on a novella that I had wanted to be done by the end of this year. But then life pushed that back. But there's a novella that's coming around the corner. And I do have some fun plans to do like a low key or not low key, but a smaller production version of like an audio for Ravens for Halloween.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna choose maybe like 4 stories to record and just share them like through social media for free.
Like through a
Um,
newsletter or what have you.
yeah, yeah, and
Whatever the kids are doing these days.
yeah, so I'm gonna record that all myself. And, maybe try to even like add in my own score. Um,
Yeah, that sounds like
so I
fun.
guess that's the forthcoming project.
Sounds good. Well, it sounds like a lot on the horizon. Go to Barrios Books. If you have a newsletter, sign up for that or just follow on social media. Find out where the next event happens to be where you can get all your books signed in person. Otherwise, at least on my radar, is Halfway to Halloween.
Yeah.
May 9th at the Marley Station Mall in Glen Burnie, Maryland.
And I'll be here before you know it.
Tickets are cheaper online, but they'll be like $10 at the door. So in any case, it ain't gonna kill you. And that includes all kinds of cool stuff, face painting, all the panels, all the super cool like original plays, things that are going on in every corner of that area that we have. So definitely check it out. Go to frightreads.com. That's going to switch out here. There it is. Go to frightreads.com for all your tickets to both Halfway to Halloween and Fright Reads Book Festival 6. Hard to believe we're on number 6.
Yeah.
Time flies. So check that out. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We had a handful of people all watching on multiple sources. So thank you very much. And I will see you at the next video, whoever that may be, because, Lord knows I don't plan this. I just look at my phone and go, oh, that's who I'm talking to this week. Should probably make an event. So it'll be a surprise to me and you all as well. So stay spooky. And if I don't see you between now and then, we'll see you at Halfway to Halloween.
Yeah. Take care, everyone.